Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is our first time doing an interview live here.
Live.
First of many things. Cam is here from Aurora. We're going to talk about the Aurora CanniMed Merger. First thing I want to ask you, Cam, is how did a war become a love affair?
Because we are all good business people.
Ooh, that's a very political response.
I don't think it's political.
It's
polite.
Oh, okay.
Political.
So let's talk a bit about what the market. There were some indicators that something was changing in the dynamic between Aurora and the CanniMed news strike thing. News strike stock started to fall out of bed.
Okay.
And then the headline was out that CanniMed and Aurora were going to chat. And of course, the result is a $1.23 billion cash and stock deal. Aurora is buying CanniMed.
We are.
And it is now best categorized as a friendly merger.
A friendly arrangement, yes.
Amazing how that happens.
The best possible result.
Okay.
I couldn't be more delighted.
So tell me, how did it all happen? Like, how did it suddenly go from warfare to love affair?
It was actually brokered by a shareholder, by a CanniMed shareholder. And of course, in a hostile situation, we have our proxy advisors, they have their proxy advisors, and everybody's talking to the shareholders. So one particular shareholder thought it would be a good idea for us to talk, and both sides thought that was a good idea as well. And it made sense.
Right.
So, we got to where we needed to be. That's the important thing, and we're going to do great things together.
Sure. So when does the merger, when will it close?
I wish I could tell you exactly, but there's a few I's to dot and T's to cross. It'll be a much shorter process, though, than it would have been if it had continued hostile.
So where does this leave News Strike shareholders and News Strike shares in the value proposition?
News Strike is going to continue on their own. They have the break fee of $9.5 million and a little bit of additional capital. They're going to operate as an independent company, and we certainly wish them well. It's just that we indicated from the very beginning that our primary interest was in CanniMed.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about some of the reporting we saw leading up to this.
Let's talk about that.
So, for example,
some of it,
Reuters filed a report that really
Friday.
got under your skin.
Yeah, it really did get under my skin, and I'm not blaming the reporter. There were anonymous sources. It's always problematic when you quote anonymous sources that indicated that Aurora was interested in both CanniMed and News Strike. And as a result of that, it would seem, people poured into News Strike, people who were following this reportage. And remember, when people leak, when people make anonymous comments to the media, almost 100% of the time, they've got an agenda. So what was the agenda there? Whatever. People poured into News Strike, and I'm afraid that real investors, real people with real money are going to get hurt.
Sure.
And whatever the agendas were, I don't need to know who was behind it. I hope that we can put that behind us as a sector. We cannot be having that in this sector. We've got to operate according to the rules, and we can't let people get hurt like that.
Okay. Let's take one of the questions from the audience. We were asked, where does this leave the management structure of the combined entity? Who will lead and who will go?
Can I have a few hours?
You haven't made up your mind yet?
We haven't. None of us have slept in a week.
Is that right?
So we're catching up. We've been pounding the coffee like you wouldn't believe. But the bottom line is we want to hang on to everybody we can at CanniMed.
Okay.
We've made it really clear for months now that we're going to be looking to build on the CanniMed infrastructure in Saskatchewan to invest more. We need all hands on deck. We've got big plans for CanniMed.
Sure. So how much cash do you have to give to CanniMed at this point?
It depends. It depends on how much people want. So we're giving people the option up to an aggregate of $140 million in cash out of the total consideration.
Okay.
Some people will want to have a cash portion. Some people won't. And it's actually kind of interesting because the transaction, we closed that at an implied share price for Aurora of $12.65 at that ratio of 3.4 Aurora shares per CanniMed share. But if you take a look at our stock, it's actually up from there. So there's a little bit of a bump, a little bit of an upside already built in for CanniMed shareholders, which is nice.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, so then in terms of the valuations of the combined entity now, assuming everything goes according to plan at today's prices, what would that make Aurora roughly valued at?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody's even done that math yet, have they?
I spent the morning talking to media about the mechanics of this, and then driving into the city to see you, James, just to see you.
Thank you.
So, to be honest, I haven't been able to check our recent share price or CanniMed's.
Okay.
But it's quite significant. Obviously, it's going to be competitive with Canopy's for the largest market cap in the sector. I'm not sure exactly exactly how much these things mean, and they move, right? So, you know, we're in a kind of a reasonably volatile sector. So I think what's most important here is to take a look at the capabilities that we've got, and that's where it really gets exciting, because what the CanniMed acquisition does for us is it allows us to accelerate our business strategy. That is really, really cool, because in addition to our organic growth, and we've been obviously, you know, very big on that. We've got 4 facilities in Canada. We're building an even bigger Aurora Sky in Denmark. We call it
press releases just keep coming.
Right, Aurora Nordic, 1 million square feet.
Right.
And we're also building the TGOD facility in Quebec. That'll be another 850,000 square feet.
Wow.
So in addition to the organic growth, by using our M&A capabilities, we can supplement that organic growth with M&A and accelerate our overall business strategy. So that's really exciting, because what that will mean is it will give us additional product supply in advance of consumer legalization. It'll give us additional product supply to allow us to ship more of our Aurora produced product that's already GMP certified over to Europe, which is a fantastic market, right? They pay in euros. We love those euros. They're worth more in Canadian dollars.
You bet.
So that's the beauty of this, and more than that, of all the licensed producers in Canada, CanniMed made more sense than virtually everybody, because they share a certain philosophy of cultivation, and that is the purpose-built, high-tech approach.
Okay.
And that really has been critical to the way we have built a scalable and replicable production philosophy and capability, and that's what we're doing around the world.
Sure. So the you know, the valuations have been insane. TGOD, for example, you valued at $320 million. And that was just based on the 850,000 square foot addition of the Quebec facility.
Well, and the one in Ancaster, right? They do have an existing facility in Ancaster as well.
Right, okay, so great. All right, well then let's leave it there for now, Cam. That was a fantastic update, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
Anytime.